What is up guys, Munash here, and today we have another rank 3 Nick Fury showcase, and this time it's going to be against Abyss of Legends Korg, which seems kind of odd using Nick Fury for a bleed immune matchup. But I actually didn't do this whole fight with Nick Fury. I used my entire team just so I could utilize the team revives. So this is just halfway through this fight, more or less. So right now I'm going with Human Torch, who is terrible for this fight. Absolutely awful counter. With the class disadvantage, it means that he's going to have 10% chance to evade instead of the usual 1%, which is extremely annoying. Like, he's evading almost every other combo. He also has the extra 1000 block penetration and a little bit more power gain. So yeah, just having class disadvantage in Abyss is really not fun, unless maybe if you're using a champ who can counter evade, such as Aegon, Nick Fury, or Magneto. But yeah, I decided to use a team revive and then one single revive, which made this fight a total of 140 units, which is about 3.5 single revives, I guess. Okay, so yeah, Human Torch goes down. Stood no chance, far from an ideal fight. So now I'm going in with Nick Fury. So for this one I just wanted to focus on Nick Fury, because I've already made a separate video on using just Doom and using just Aegon. So I had glimpses of how good Nick Fury could be for this fight when I did it on Path 3. Because I remember when I did Path 2, I did try him out for this fight, and although I didn't last long, I could see some potential. So yeah, typical Korg fight, except you don't have offensive ability accuracy, unless when using special attacks. And what makes Nick Fury actually a surprisingly good counter for this fight is that, unlike Aegon, he can still go unblockable for pretty much the whole fight, once you get those 16 tactical charges. The one thing I found a little bit interesting with Nick Fury, which made it a little bit harder, is that I can't actually bait a heavy attack and then combo him or punish him with the light attack, just due to Nick Fury's animations. So here I threw a special 1 just being impatient, and now I have 1% health left, so now I'm just playing on the edge. So I'm like, okay, I probably won't last long now. But because I have the unblockable, it made the fight a lot easier, and also just being able to shallow intercept with light attacks to remove the stacks just helps quite a bit as well. So there I threw my special 2 while he was unstoppable, but because I was unblockable, he still took all the damage, and then I get the stun after that, so he couldn't punish me. Korg is one of those champs that I've dueled a lot, and I wasn't even trying to practice dexing his special 1. I mostly dueled him to practice the light intercept so I could remove the rock stacks pretty easily with pretty much any champ. So yeah, I think Nick Fury is actually now my preferred counter for this fight. So there I just didn't time the intercept right and kind of whiffed and then got punished for it. So now I'm going to go in with Corvus. And this fight didn't really last long. I think I mistimed the special 1 evade, and then the fight ended pretty early. I think Corvus could actually be decent for this fight as well, just because he doesn't rely on offensive ability accuracy. And also, you don't do that much damage when his shield is up, so it doesn't make much difference when you don't have your charges up. So if you can play, without the glaive charges during that time, and then drop some big special 2s, then you can still do some pretty decent damage. So yeah, you notice that I'm sometimes actually baiting a heavy attack, and then I throw a 4-hit combo of just light attacks. Usually the first one will whiff, and then the last 3 will connect. So that's just a pretty useful trick you can use as well to remove those stacks, or to make removing them a bit easier. But yeah, it seems like not every champ can do that. You notice that it doesn't work with Nick Fury. So now I'm just sort of stalling a bit, waiting for those unblockable and unstoppables to go away. Now he's got his rock stacks back, and I almost have my glaive charges back as well. Light Decept there. Now they're back, but I just failed to evade the special one, and Corvus goes down. So yeah, that was a bit annoying. I should have done a lot more damage in that fight. But yeah, now I'm just gonna use a team revive, and then heal up everyone with team potions. And then I went with Doom once again. Doom's pretty much the easiest counter for this fight. He's very safe, just because he does energy attacks, so you don't take any damage from his rock shield. The only thing is his damage output isn't as good as Aegon's, which is why I used Aegon instead of Doom the last time I did this fight. But what I find annoying about this fight with Doom is you can't do the typical Doom rotation, because without offensive ability accuracy you can't get that power steal. So even after you drop your special 3, you're not going to get to your special 1 and then special 2 in time while maintaining those furies. So that's also why I just alternate between special 1 and special 2 for this fight. Because at least the Incinerate still do somewhat decent damage against Korg, because it's just a little bit more sensitive to energy damage. But yeah, overall, Doom's damage output for this fight isn't the greatest. So yeah, I'm just speeding up this Doom fight so I can get back to Nick Fury. So with Doom, I can pretty much always do a full fight, as in I can use up all my hits, just because he makes managing the fight a lot easier than most of the other champs, and he's pretty tanky, so sometimes I do get hit or clipped and I'm still able to survive most of the time. So now after Doom, I went back to using Aegon, and this fight was embarrassingly short. I didn't really do a lot of hits, and barely did. I think I only did about 4% damage in this fight with Aegon. So yeah, not my best run. Oh yeah, I remember what happened here. This was when I just did not evade his special 1, the last hit of his special 1 for some reason. It's like I was lagging. Not the game, but me. Like my brain was just slow in sending the signal to my fingers. So I got clipped by the last hit of his special 1, which was quite sad for me. But on the bright side, it did give me a chance to use Nick Fury for one more full fight, and that gave me a pretty good indication of how viable or how effective Nick Fury would be if I was to do the whole fight with him. And I was pleasantly surprised. He performed better than I expected in terms of damage output, because the majority of Nick Fury's damage comes from the bleeds, and in case you haven't noticed, Korg is bleed immune, so his damage is being cut down quite a lot for this fight, probably more than half. But he still managed to take down the last 24% of Korg in one go, and I had about 20 hits left, I believe. So yeah, I think that's pretty decent, because that means in a full fight he could potentially do it in 3 revives, which is more or less around the same as my 5-star Aegon, who has a much higher crit rate. But yeah, just being completely unblockable really does give Nick Fury an edge, because it just makes managing his rock shield a lot easier, because now while he's blocking in the corner or whatever, you can just hit into him with the light attack very easily. So yeah, I do like Nick Fury for this fight, and I actually enjoyed the fight with Nick Fury more than any other champ. Now with Doom it was easy, but it was kind of boring as well. Aegon was a little bit more difficult, but with Nick Fury it was just beautiful. Because when he's unblockable, you can just passively move to him and then start dropping light attacks to remove those rock stacks. Also, it makes it easier to push into a special 2, which is a lot easier to evade, and you can actually punish it with the light attack. The stun on the special 2 is also pretty useful. It has a good duration, so then you can sort of just passively walk over to him and then drop some more light attacks. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found it interesting. Thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.